Good morning, my wonderful friends. Magus with you on a beautiful day in Asha. Today, my friends, is my birthday, 11/24. And in the spirit of birth, I want to talk about that born again experience. And today, I want to give you the wisdom and knowledge that you actually transform your life. If you're a searcher, it's no mistake you've come to this channel today. My friends, the words I'm going to speak to you, many have been killed over it. Matter of fact, many of the hidden mystery schools, it was forbidden to share this knowledge. And the reason is, look at Socrates. Look at Jesus. They were killed for this message. But my friends, I've discovered something. People can't even really hear this message unless their heart is searching. They can hear the words, but the word behind it, they can't grasp. It makes me think of what Jesus said, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he who hears my word has God life." And it's more than just hearing it, because anyone can hear it, but hears it, holds it, receives it. My friends, that original word has God life. Can I ask you a question? Do you feel out of tune? Do you feel like a fish out of water in this life? You know, I had this vision a long time ago of a guitar. And if you don't tune the guitar, it makes chaos. And many people are living in chaos because they're not in tune. And so with my guitar, I have a little app on my phone, and it'll give me the right note to match the chords with, my friends. And that's what we have to do. We have to tune ourselves with the original word. And that's what we're going to do today, if you'll stay with me. My friend, if you're one of the wonderful friends or Order of the Magi, I need you to do something. When I started this channel, I had the idea of a 5-year plan. I was going to put into motion over 5 years, putting truth into messages every day in every way I could conceive. My friends, and we did that. Last month on October 14th, we hit our 5-year mark. And now, my friends, for instance, the last 28 days, over 40,000 people heard our message. I don't even have to put out videos anymore, my friends. We've built something beautiful. We've brought Asha to earth. So if you want me to keep doing these, because we don't need to, we've already created something beautiful that's going to keep growing. My friends, Asha is, you know that. But if you want me to keep coming with these messages, I'm going to ask you to show me. Hit that like button. Go to the comments. Share the message. I'm going to be looking at the comments, at the likes, at how many shares, and see, do I really need to keep coming every day with these messages? So what I want to cover today, my friends, is that knowledge is immortality. Knowledge is salvation. And just like I opened with, Jesus said, if you hear my word, there's knowledge, there's wisdom in that word. If you can hold and receive that knowledge and wisdom, it brings God life, health, peace, protection, provision, because you're tuning yourself to that right frequency. My friends, you might just be out of tune right now, and so you're playing a nightmare of music. But you can tune yourself, and that's what we're going to do today. And then after that, I'm going to read to you one of my favorite stories, and it goes along perfect with what we're talking about here. You know, when we hold the wrong thoughts, ideas, stories, it tunes us to an ignorance. And you know what? Ignorance, it creates a real reality. You know, I shared the story with you when I was taken to heaven and I got to stand before Jesus, and the burning question on my heart was, what was this life all about? And he told me, it's to know the real above all real. And my friends, if you have yourself attuned to wrong ideas of who God is, and you know, we've talked about that was planned, that the evil spirit took over the world religions so he could tune you to chaos. A God that gets angry, hates, wars, kills men, women, children, bloody sacrifice. Now you've attuned yourself. That's the word you've taken into you, the spirit, the idea of the highest principle of God, and that's the world you created out of that ignorance. My friends, that wrong idea, that wrong story. So when I read to you from the Hymn of the Pearl, it's gonna attune you to that original Om, the perfect creator's perfect idea. I'm going to be reading to you from Asha today. Asha is inspired by the 2,600-year-old Magi text. My friends, we must be purified. We must, like I said, ignorance, right? It creates a real reality. And we must purify ourselves of the wrong frequency. You know, if you have a guitar tuner that is set to wrong notes, and you keep trying to tune yourself to that, it'll never work. And you'll always be going to them, to their priest, to their governments, to their churches and temples and synagogues, because you're always searching, right? They create the problem, and then only they have the solution for you. And it keeps them in control and power, and that's why they kill the ones that bring this message of the highest truth. My friends, of purity. Purity is a must, my friends. We must be purified of the ignorance and the lie. And we do that with the truth, with the original word. If you got your book Asha, go to Asha 13. It talks about the original word. It says the original word is all good, comes from the Creator, and no evil. My God, if you can just grasp that, right? That's Asha 2. Asha 2, our one rule is know only good. You can't know good and evil. Because knowing, my friends, it'll lead to salvation or it'll lead to loss and damnation. My friends, because what we know, when this was written, knowing is to be one with. So you have to be one with only the highest principle of God good, with divine life and divine health and peace and joy and kindness. My friends, protection, provision, light, no darkness, no lie, no evil, not mixed. My friends, my God, someone hear this. The world religions have been taken over to present you that unharmonious tune, and people are they're attuning themselves to that wrong frequency, that wrong sound. We got to go back to the original. Only good comes from the Creator, and no evil comes from Him. Asha 3 talks about the mind of Christ, right? No one comes to the Father but through me, Jesus said. That's the Christ mind. My friends, understand this. All is mind. Are you in the God mind that we call in our religion Vohu Menu? It's the God mind. It's the Christ mind. It's purity. It's pure virgin consciousness. That's where the Savior Jesus, Seoshant, is born inside of you. You're tuning yourself where you and Jesus are one. Jesus, he lived a perfect life, and He conquered death. My friends, and we attune ourselves to that Christ mind of purity, perfection. What else could a perfect Creator have but a perfect idea of you and this world? That's truth, my friends, and we attune ourselves to that. So beautiful. Let's go to the Hymn of the Pearl. If you don't have this book, my friends, I believe it's still available on Amazon. It's called Beauty for Ashes by Winston Head. It has the Hymn of the Pearl in here. It has healing prayers. It has an exorcism. It has still pools of the mind. My friends, it's a beautiful Beautiful book here. There's councils of the ancient sages. Oh my God. Beautiful 1,000-year-old words with that original word in it. It changes you. It attunes you, my friends. So you play that beautiful, harmonious music that we call Asha. It's order. It's harmony. It's the perfect Creator's perfect idea. A hymn of the Pearl. I know you guys will love this. This is my all-time favorite. Thanks for staying with me on my birthday, guys. I love you so much. You know that. When I was a little child in my father's palace and enjoyed the wealth and luxury of those who nurtured me, my parents equipped me with provisions and sent me out from the east, our homeland. From the wealth of our treasury, they gave me a great burden, which was light so that I could carry it by myself, gold from the land above, silver from great treasuries, and stones, chalcedonies of India, and agates from Kushan. And they girded me with steel, and they took away from me the garment set with gems and spangled with gold, which they had made out of love for me, and the yellow robe which was made for my size. And they made a covenant with me and wrote it in my mind that I might not forget. If you go down to Egypt and bring the one pearl which is in the land of the devouring serpent, you shall put on again that garment set with stones and the robe which lies over it. And with your brother, our next in command, you shall be herald of our kingdom. So I departed from the east on a difficult and frightening road, led by 2 guides, and I was very young to travel on it. I passed over the borders of Mosani, where there is the meeting place of the merchants of the east, and reached the land of the Babylonians. I went down to Egypt, and my companions parted from me. I went straight to the serpent and stayed near his den, until he should slumber and sleep, so that I might take the pearl from him. Being alone, I altered my appearance and seemed an alien even to my own people. But I saw one of my kinsmen there, a freeborn man from the east, a youth fair and beautiful, the son of the courtiers. He came and kept me company, and I made him my intimate friend, a comrade with whom I communicated my business. Being exhorted to guard against the Egyptians and against partaking of unclean things, I clothed myself in garments like theirs, so I would not be seen as a stranger and as one who had come from abroad to take the pearl, lest the Egyptians might arouse the serpent against me. But somehow they learned that I was not their countryman, and they dealt with me treacherously, and I tasted their food. Then I no longer recognized that I was a king's son, and I served their king. I forgot the pearl for which my parents had sent me, and I fell into a deep sleep because of the heaviness of their food. While I was suffering these things, my parents were aware of it, and they grieved over me. And a proclamation was heralded in our kingdom that all should present themselves at our doors. The kings of Parthia and those in office, and the great men of the east, resolved that I should not be left in Egypt. So the courtiers wrote me a letter. From your father, the King of Kings, and your mother, the mistress of the east, to our son in Egypt, greetings. Awake and rise from your sleep. Listen to the words in this letter. Remember, you are a son of the king. You have fallen beneath the yoke of slavery. Remember your gold-spangled garment. Recall the pearl for which you were sent to Egypt. Your name has been called to the book of life, together with that of your brother, whom you have received in our kingdom. And the king sealed it to make it an ambassador. I arose from sleep when I recognized its voice. I took it up and kissed it and read it. And that was written concerned that which was engraved on my heart. And I immediately remembered that I was the son of the king, and that my freedom demanded my people. I remembered the pearl for which I had been sent to Egypt, and the fact that I had come to snatch it from the terrifying serpent. I subdued it by calling out my father's name, and I snatched the pearl and turned about to go to my parents. And I took off the dirty clothing, and I left it behind in their land, and directed my way forthwith to the light of our eastern home. And on the road I found a female who lifted me up. She awakened me, giving me an oracle with her voice, and guided me to the light. The royal silken garment shone before my eyes, and with familial love leading me and drawing me on, I passed the labyrinth, and leaving Babylon behind on the left, I reached Mesen, which is a great coast. But I could not recall my splendor, for it had been when I was still a child and quite young that I had left it behind in my father's palace. But when suddenly I saw my garment, reflected as in a mirror, I perceived it in my whole self as well. For though we originated from the one and the same, we were partially divided. Then again we were one, with a single form. The treasuries to who had brought the garment, I saw two beings, but there existed a single form in both, one royal symbol consisting of two halves. And they had my money and my wealth in their hand, and gave me my reward, the fine garment of glorious colors, which was embroidered with gold, precious stones, and pearls, to give a good appearance. It was fastened at the collar, and the image of the King of Kings was all over it. Stones of lapis lazuli had been skillfully fixed to the collar, and I saw in turn that motions of knowledge were stirring throughout it, and that it was prepared to speak. That I heard it speak, "It is I who belong to the one who is stronger than all people, and for whose sake I was written about by the Father himself." And I took note of my stature, and all the royal feelings rested on me as its energy increased. Thrust out by his hand, the garment hastened to me as I went to receive it. And a longing aroused me to rush and meet it and to receive it. And I stretched out and took it and adorned myself with the beauty of its colors. And I covered myself completely with my royal robe over it. When I had put it on, I ascended to the land of peace and homage. And I lowered my head and prostrated myself before the splendor of the Father who had sent it to me. For it was I who had obeyed his commands, and it was I who also had kept the promise. And I mingled at the doors of his ancient royal building. He took delight in me and received me in his palace. So beautiful. My friend, you come from good spirit. You are made of good spirit, and you shall return to good spirit. Knowledge leads to immortality, to your salvation, purity. My friends, one God is all good. He's been misrepresented as hating, warring, killing, anger, jealousy. He has none of those frequencies. My friends, do not attune yourself to that false word. He is all good. Perfect bliss, peace, joy, love, kind, good. My friends, the dark system has tried to change the names. Even the name of love. Some hear the name love and they have a wrong idea of it. My friend, it's a love that's trying to get something or beat you because it loves you. My friends, no, this is a pure love. They hear the name God and fear overwhelms them, and stories and grief. My friends, no, the true God, that original name, it's good. And in your heart of hearts, you know it. It's pure and it's peace and it's kind. Has no attributes of the evil spirit. My friends, we're restoring the names. We're restoring his name. My friends, that original word, verily, verily, I say unto you, he who hears my word, holds my word, receives my word, the true spirit, the true idea of God, the original religion, my friends, has God life. My friend, I promise, rushing to you comes peace and joy and God and love and all good things, protection and provision, light. My friends, that light fills you and runs out. The darkness, the truth fills you and runs out. The lie, we restore his name, his image. We take that spirit, we attune ourselves like the instrument. My friends, we match that. Like knows like. This knowing is one with, like is one with like. We are one with the true God, with true love, peace, protection, provision. My friends, and then thirdly, we create that with the music we make, the frequency we give out, the vibration we are, what we are. We are sons and daughters of the King. I love you guys. Thank you for spending my birthday with me. I love you so much. Be blessed.